since it's football season, I can't help but notice that we have Germany and France together. So we hope we make this as exciting, right? So I we continue on the conversation of retention. And that has been a large part of discussion, especially given the circumstances. So I was speaking with somebody, like
I was speaking with somebody at Rihanna Tours. They are aggregators of, attractions in the UAE. So Burj Khalifa and everyone would actually give their listings to Rihanna, and they would then share it with Expedia and other, Klook and everyone. And the suffering is real because with people not coming in, they've now been tasked to get people from abroad, of course, but the retention strategy that the government has put in for citizens and residents is immense. I was really blown away by what I learned, and we probably continue some of that. Questions largely, and one great thing about this panel is we have a global giant, we have a startup founder, and we have a CTO of a unicorn. So make the most of this because these answers are coming to you from very deep understanding of how this entire industry operates. So make notes. Please feel free to ask questions, and we'll keep this as interactive as we can. Sabrina, first question to you. Hotelier, now with Samsung for such a long time. Firstly, congratulations on the great work you've done already. For a brand as big as Samsung, what's the playbook like? Where do you actually identify the starting point of where retention needs to come in? Because acquisition, of course, everyone has goals for it. But where do you actually decide that you now want to move this customer from an acquisition mode to a retention one?
So double-edged sword, right? So I'm heading D2C. So you want me to answer as the channel, or you want to answer me to answer as the brand? Because if someone buys offline, then we still retain the customer, but not so good for me in terms of my own sales numbers, right? So I found it quite interesting when you talked about loyalty programs, because I also find, and we had this conversation before, that points are not loyalty, it's an incentive, and so on. And I believe loyalty is also an outcome and not just points that you get. So for us, as a brand though, and also as a channel, we look a lot at obviously the ecosystem. All of our products talk to each other. They have AI integrated. You can use your fridge to tell your washing machine to switch on in an hour. So, but mostly with all these apps that we have that connect your devices, the first signal that we look at is, did you connect your device to the internet? Not just your phone, your TV, your fridge, your washing machine. And then what settings are you using? So I'm one person in the house with one dog. My washing machine settings are very different to an average family. When you look at how I engage with our SmartThings app, you will know that I might be more of a customer for the vacuum cleaner that has a dog mode than someone else in our data set. So I think it starts a lot for us with how are you interacting with the product once you have the product, to see if there's a real opportunity for us to bring you into our ecosystem beyond just maybe that first phone that you bought.
Great point. I think, Jennifer, question to you then, leading from there, is you're a startup founder, right? And you are, sorry about that. I think you're a startup founder and you don't have the luxury of deep pockets, not yet at least. And and there will always be a challenge of balancing funds between acquisition and retention. How do you go about it? What's your playbook? And I'm sure this is different for every founder, but what's your playbook?
Very happy to see you again, Dharmendra.
Likewise, Jennifer.
Thank you for having me. The playbook, well, from day one, HushDay is not chasing customers, first of all. We are a private sales platform for members only. So we are not chasing customers, we are building a community. So that's very different, and that's a very different marketing approach. So the good news is retaining a customer costs 5 times cheaper than acquiring a new one. So that's the best part. of course, we still need to grow the community because we are a startup. So we went from 0 to almost 40,000 members in a few months. This is thanks to, of course, some paid ads and everything. But I would say, 2 important levers. The first one is the brand desirability. So strong brands attract customers, and that's whatever you want to do, strong brands, good discount. So what we do on HushDay, we offer access to the best brands between 60 to 80% off. So this is our best way to attract new members. The second thing is referral. So for me, engagement is not retaining the customers. The winning is when a customer brings someone else. And I don't even call them customers. They are really members. This is the winning part. And we reward this. Every time people are coming and joining with other people, sharing with their friends. So it's all about building a community more than trying to just acquire new customers and spending more money.
Wow, that's a great thought. We'll probably come back to follow-up questions on that, but I have one for Bapa because it's similar in that sense, right? You're doing probably luxury and off-price is the core of what Bapa is also building. Bapa, I'll probably also take the question that Sid had asked from Pet Corner, because in a price-led category, how do you drive, in that sense, loyalty or retention with customers? Because price is your leading point, and you're already playing the price game. So what more can you do?
Yeah, so good evening, everyone. And it really feels good that in a very relaxed evening, no stage, we are all on the same floor. So amazing. So yeah, so basically, we are an off-price retailer, right? So we pride ourselves in terms of customers coming in, and it's a treasure hunt experience. So we see a lot of customers coming into our stores, just walking by the mall because they know we are brands for less, just to try their luck, right? And the thrill of getting a great deal. Right. Probably 6 out of 10 times you would end up finding something and walking out of the store. The remaining 4 you don't find and you go to other stores, right? So we observe that customers, when they come, they don't come with a particular category in mind, right? That I have to buy a formal shirt or I have to buy a polo or a dress. They just come to explore, and probably based on men's wear, women's wear, kids wear, toys, home, they just venture out across all the departments and then see what they can find and what basically excites them. And it's not just the price, it's the affinity towards brands, right? So we basically, for every product that we buy, we assign a score which is called BFPQ. So brand, which is the equity of the brand, F is fashionability, P is price, and Q is quality. And not every product has the same BFPQ score. There are certain brands where the DNA of the brand is more important than the fashionability. Sometimes, especially women's wear, because the brand matters a lot. Men's wear, brand matters less. What matters is more of quality. And of course, fashionability depends. So for us, it's understanding the DNA of each brand and understanding the BFPQ of each of the categories and areas which brings customers to the store, right? And our main objective is to see that how we can attract, wish we have a magnet where we can attract customers to the store and somebody just comes and buys something, right? It can just as well be a small home fragrance, right? Or a candle, it doesn't matter. It's a 5 dirhams or 10 dirhams or 20 dirhams or 200 dirhams, it doesn't matter. But the fact that a customer walks into the store and just looks around and then spends a 15-20 minutes is something that we like. So one of the metrics of retail that we have is the amount of time a customer spends in the treasure hunt, right? So if somebody comes and leaves in 2 minutes, that's not success, right? So one of the ways we measure conversion is that what's the time the customer spends in our stores. So we have started putting cafes in our stores. BFL cafe is now very popular. So we try to make the environment in such a way that the customer doesn't get tired, because it's very tiring to do treasure hunt. I'm sure, like, whoever has gone to BFL, it's very tiring, right? After 5 minutes, 10 minutes, no, I'm not finding anything, let's leave. So our objective is to make that more and more experiential and relevant and driven in terms of what customers want, rather than us pushing brands and categories where there are no takers.
Right. I think from a brand perspective, to your point, Sabrina, I think you have you are in a duopoly of sorts, right? You have one major competitor and then you, right? So how much time do you spend worrying about what your competitor is doing versus what you actually build as your own strategy?
Misconception number one. Biggest problem of everyone. We're doing TVs, fridges, washing machines. Everyone thinks phones, right? So we have more than one competitor.
I love that.
We don't spend that much time thinking about them. We think about them when we don't want the people who we once convinced to buy our product to turn to them, right? So no one in this room is going to say, I will live without a smartphone. Everyone is going to buy a phone eventually, or a washing machine. The question is at what price point, what functionality. Our products get more complicated. How do we explain this to a customer? And then maybe you think about your competitor because you're comparing your product, which we don't have to do because it's obviously better, but still you need to explain it. So we don't spend that much time, and I also think the reasons are very different, why people might choose either or. We are very spec and tech driven. The competitor brand you're thinking about is a bit more lifestyle-y and gives you that kind of image of the life you will have if you own that product, and we tell you that how we will make your life simpler, more efficient by using the AI that's in there, but we're not spending that much time thinking about them.
Lovely, lovely, and I love the confidence. but great point. Jennifer, you spoke about, you've built this business in Europe and as well as in the Middle East, right? Any key differences that you see in building in Europe and building in the Middle East, especially from a customer perspective? You're building a community, of course, but how do you kind of go about? Is it very different? Is it the same? What's your playbook?
First of all, I didn't build private sales platform in Europe. I wish I had. I worked for VP or for a platform like that, but I didn't build them. Right. I would say there are a few differences that makes this market pretty challenging. The first thing is the diversity. So, well, you're in France, you know what French people would buy, at what price, what are their persona, everything. Here you have, I think, as much persona as inhabitants, clearly. And everyone comes with its culture, his favorite brands, favorite type of products. So this main challenge is to find the right offer that will speak to everyone. And in terms of marketing, that's a bit challenging, because every time we do online private sales, but also offline events, and every time we organize an offline event, we are wondering, okay, we have this brand, who is the right audience? So where should we do it? In which district? Who should we target exactly to attract the right audience to this event? So, and that's very not about nationality, but about many things: purchasing power, work, etc. So that's the first difference. The other one that is very surprising is, for a private sales platform, we have members who are very price sensitive, but in the same time, they are smart shoppers. They are not looking for cheap things, because the average basket is around 1,000 dirham. And sometimes it can go up to 10,000 dirham according to the brand we can sell. So if we did evening dresses private sale, the average basket was 9,000 and the top spender spent 70,000 dirham on one order. So that's pretty counterintuitive if we think about, they are buying discounts, but in the same time they don't care about spending an amount of money. Actually, it's because we don't sell price. I don't think we even sell products. We sell access. And people, they just want to have access to other people they don't want to have. They don't have access to this. I have good deals. I know a secret that others don't know. So that's one of the big differences. We are able to sell luxury products at a very good price and have very high conversion rate, very high average basket, even if we are on enough price infrastructure.
Lovely, lovely. Bapa, you are the techno-commercial brain in the organization, right? You have this knack for understanding what technology will solve at what scale, and then what's the right mix that you want to kind of bring together, right? So at what level should technology solve problems, right? That is your fundamental use case. When you look at it top down, what are the 2 or 3 things that you look at in terms of whether technology is needed here or should I deploy it elsewhere, and what should be my focus? How do you kind of go about that?
Okay, so I'll give a reference in terms of the marketing tech. So we've not been great in doing marketing ourselves as a company because our founder is a great marketeer. How many of you have seen Tawfiq's TikTok videos, right? So he carries the entire shoulder, in his shoulder, the marketing of BFL. So that's why historically we have never invested so much in marketing. It's just in the last 2 years we have started. And the way we do it is very, very implicit. I mean, we don't go all out and market ourselves and promote products and brands as such, because obviously there is a legal compliance issues around promoting. The second is we believe in word of mouth. So basically we have WhatsApp groups being created where we have actually touched certain segments of customers and they spread the word. So I'll just give an example. Last Saturday there was like some 2,500 on-cloud shoes that came up in 3 of the stores. And we didn't have to market. Within 2 hours, it's gone. Because it was available at a great price and things like that. So when it comes to solving, not just problems, but opportunities with technology, we always link it to a KPI in the business. And for marketing, the top 2 KPIs is in terms of the lifetime value of the customer, right? So if a customer in BFL, existing customers, how we retain, right, rather than acquisition. So today's discussion is about that, right? Yeah. So if an average customer makes three trips a year or 3.5 trips a year, if we increase that by 10%, my lifetime value will go up from 1,000 dirhams to 1,100 dirhams. That's enough uplift for 20% of my 2 million active customers, right? You can do the math. So that's a very important thing, that whenever we look at technology, how we can increase the lifetime value of our customers. And everything falls around it. Your average basket value, average order value, retention, everything, right? The second thing that we look at is whenever we run any campaigns in terms of CRM campaigns, create cohorts and segments and orchestrate those campaigns through the right channels. We always look at one metric, which is what percentage of my customers have done omnichannel cross-shopping, right? So if somebody has come to the stores and then browsed online or browsed online and come back to the stores. So all our campaigns, we try to project it as an omnichannel campaign. Why? Because if you know, off-price as a business is not very online heavy. It's very store-centric, right? Like if you see the Burlingtons and the TJX and TK Maxx, all the different off-price businesses. In fact, we are part of TJ Maxx and TK Maxx now. They're not online heavy, but in this part of the world, again, I'll repeat, in this part of the world, people like digital treasure hunt. And we can't deny that. So much so that our online contribution is almost 15% of the total revenue. So all our campaigns have to be at that level. And when we share those campaigns, we cannot specifically promote one particular brand or a particular product, right? So we have to go a little generic in terms of going with a category and with a brand and pitching it to the customers whom we know based on that segment, right? But we cannot put a representative product also when you send third-party campaigns. Like if you put say for example, an Adidas or a Puma sneaker on the page, then customers might come and they say, I want to buy this, right? So we cannot explicitly do that, but at the same time, how you promote that particular category and brand to your customer. So that's the challenge, right? So it's very interesting that in off-price, the marketing works very differently from a standard retail, that you have to be a little implicit, and you have to also spread the word under the table, word of mouth, not go too overboard with huge billboards and campaigns and things like that.
What came to my mind was, you spoke earlier about, who are you speaking to, which channel, and how do you kind of, at an organization level, what are your key challenges of managing this between channels, and who wins really, right? So between D2C and retail, who decides and who wins? How does that work?
Okay, so first of all, the winner is always the brand, and the CFO is the same, so and the customer, if they buy our product and don't turn and buy something else. What I find super interesting, because you are underlying that I'm part of this global giant, but we're all talking about the same thing. Yeah. And one of our best programs on D2C is referral. When we started referral, beautiful. Earlier on, I think Stan mentioned MPS as his main happiness KPI that he looks at other than conversion. When we started looking at, we track MPS every day. We're like crazy people. And we started seeing comments on, we adjusted our loyalty program, and people started complaining about how they can use them now versus before, but we didn't care about that. What we cared about is when suddenly, because it was very, very little people, and impact was almost nothing, because you buy a washing machine after 5 years, it had a bigger profit impact for us to make a change. But what we really cared about is all these people who started saying, oh, I was referred here, I used this code, now I gave it to my cousin, I bought my second device, and so on. So I feel we have a lot in common in terms of building community. We have Samsung Members app that is a community where people talk about our products, where they exchange their experiences. And at the same time, I don't feel so distant from you. Obviously, we're not working that much on price. To Jennifer's despair, we just participated with them.
It's like a religion to buy Samsung.
It is.
Like either you're Apple or Samsung. Like it's a bit. No.
Yeah, I don't know. But I also feel it's very different, UAE versus Saudi. We had a conversation earlier on about this, and when we launched Saudi years ago, I think in Saudi, because there's a higher percentage of local community, if we lock in, at least from Samsung perspective, if we lock you in early in your lifetime into our ecosystem, if your first phone, your first watch, whatever it is Samsung, you are very likely to not switch at some point. In UAE, you have a lot higher percentage of people coming and going. You might stay 3 years, you buy one washing machine from us, the next one you buy it when you move back to the UK. So there is engagement and retention, but you're also maybe on one foot out of the country, and some people are staying. So for us, it's also about finding out who is staying. There's signals, and then there's also the referral part, the secret WhatsApp groups. We also have these it feels close to home. I didn't answer your question at all, but that was kind of the interesting part of the conversation for me.
Yeah, great bonding. What's your NPS though, bud? If you can share.
It's very high.
Okay.
I can't tell you, but it's good.
Yeah, I'm sure.
MENA is actually the best region globally in terms of NPS. And this is my personal happiness moment every
Well
time
done.
I see it.
Well
Yeah.
done. Congratulations. And that deserves a round of applause, right? I think that's very, very inspiring. Jennifer, I think from your perspective, right, you're now building this grounds up, and we spoke about challenges. How do you foresee technology, right? And then how do you use it as a tool? And you will always have these budget constraints, right? Should I put this money into marketing or tech? How do you make those decisions, and where does tech stand for you?
So for a startup, of course, you don't need to start with a very heavy stack. A very good CRM platform. I use Klaviyo. I am a big fan of Klaviyo.
Oops.
A good setup on Klaviyo is good enough because you have absolutely everything you need to know about your customers. The challenge is then to reconcile offline, online, etc., and just to track everything. But for us, Klaviyo gives us everything we need, and for every member, I know exactly where he comes from, what brand did he buy, how much he spent, did he come online, offline, both. So that's really the only thing we need. And our best friend, Claude or ChatGPT. I give them data, I tell, what do you think? And it will analyze everything, like what was the best lever. Like we invested on influence, for example. At first, we did a lot of influence marketing because we need brand awareness, of course. And then we realized that the organic social media community is the most engaged, but also the biggest spenders. And if we do an event, we calculate also the percentage of show rates because people, they have to register to an event. And so the community from organic Instagram are the most likely to come and to spend more, as well as our CRM database, compared to paid or partnerships or influence marketing. So this is everything we track, and we allocate the budget according to that. Event after event, private sale after private sale, we learn more about our customers. The database grow as well, so we understand them better. And yeah, I don't think we need so much tools as long as you have a very good CRM and one unique source of data.
Great. Bapa, I think you're obviously part of a group, right? And there's always this trade-off between who acquired the customer and who's retaining. Any best practices you want to share about, how do you manage at a large organization level? How do you kind of budget for them, and how do you manage it across?
Yeah, acquisition is saturated, right? So we have a certain population in GCC, and although it grows, it doesn't grow at a level in which we can make money out of it, right? So retention is very important, and engagement. Now, one very important thing is we started creating our own loyalty solution, which is called Smile More. It became very transactional. Of course, most of the loyalty solutions in this part of the region is very, very transactional. I still remember when I was in Tesco like 15 years back, club card we used to get after every 3 months. All the club card points used to get converted into nice vouchers, which everybody used to look up to. It used to get emailed to your post box, and we opened, wow, I've got free entry tickets to Thorpe Park, right? So nowadays it's just, you have a e-wallet, you have 25 dirhams, let's use it. So loyalty as such is very, very transactional. It's just incentivization, right? It doesn't create retention and engagement. So what we then shifted from pure play points is essentially how we can effectively engage. And for us, it's very important to do that engagement. As I said, right, bringing back customers maybe you didn't have a good experience. You came to the store, you couldn't find anything. You went back, you left. As I said, like 4 out of 10 times a customer leaves the store without buying anything. So how do we bring that customer back, right? So we started then investing in CRM solutions that helps with that geo-clustering. So we know that this customer didn't convert. We tagged using geo-clustering. We did something where a customer, free Wi-Fi being given to the customer, enters, it connects, landing page, customized landing page, but there's no conversion, right? So we then started targeting those segments, and we actually saw a good uplift. Almost like 12% of those customers who went back and didn't buy actually came back with great offers, which we passed it on, right? Then we started something which is called, bits and bytes. So just like something, like you have an anniversary or you have a birthday, we started giving even a 20 dirham coupon or a 25 dirham coupon, right? So it's all about bringing that customer back. And community for us is very important, right? A very interesting fact is, at BFL, in terms of the total number of customers, registered customers, Indians are the highest. Now, but the spending is the highest with Arab expats. So, because the average order value of Arab expats is almost 60% more than the Indians. But the number is more, right? So the question is, where do you go? Do you target more of that or this, or you do a balance? So we also have actually done the demography of each and every community and found that which community prefers what kind of products and category. Again, back to the BFPQ. And we have assigned that BFPQ score to that cohort and that segments, right? So then on a monthly basis, we do our campaigns, which is purely targeted with that particular segment. So all these, small little things has helped us to get those customers back. And technology has actually played a very, very key role. We invested in a loyalty solution. Now all the data, first party, third party, we are pumping it into the Google BigQuery. And from the BigQuery, we are doing those analysis and then targeting customers through our CRM tool, which is more of an execution. So right now we are evaluating a complete end-to-end CDP, a customer data platform, plus a CRM tool, which will do these things for us in a much more automated way. But I think technology is a very, very key driver to stitch all of these together in terms of profiles, identities, and gaining some actionable insights. It's very, very important.
Absolutely right. I think one fundamental that has changed in the whole world is every company is a technology company, and they are in the business of fashion, electronics, whatever, right? I'm aware that the panel is probably between hungry folks and dinner. One last question, a common question for everyone. We never spoke about AI so far, right? So quick take for relevance sake. We'll go one by one, and then maybe we can start with you, Sabrina, then Jennifer, and then Bapa.
What's the question? If I use it, if we use it, if it's good, is it taking over the world? Probably a little bit of all of it. Yeah, so we have AI in all of our products. We use AI in many of our personalization solutions, in our tech stack, yeah, of course. You asked me that question a while ago, and I said, I don't know, because I don't know, else I would be AI.
And I said, I will ask you again.
And I still don't have the answer. In the past 4 weeks, I did not find the way to predict the future. Regardless, I think you can't ignore it, right? I don't work in a company where I can just throw all of my data into Claude and say, okay, that's fine, it can go. Though we have access, but of course, it's a bit more, we need to be careful about it, but yeah, it's become a reflex also for us to double check things, right? And there's internal jokes about when some specific people ask you a question, check with AI first, so you make sure that you give the answer that AI would have said, because they will cross-check you against AI. But regardless, we use it. I think it's relevant. We will all see where it will take us. I don't think we need to worry too much that tomorrow the world is entirely going to change. But if you don't know how to use it, you will definitely lose. On a personal level, on a professional level, and also as a company, I think you can't close your eyes and just ignore it.
Jennifer?
So I don't know exactly what's the question again, but it's what's my
I'll clarify. I'm
religion
saying,
about AI?
Yeah, what's your take on AI and what's happening currently?
I consider that you have two choices. Either you masterize AI or you will be replaced. It's basic. So I prefer to be the one who masterizes, who tries to use it on my daily basis. We use it for everything. I have one best friend, one advisor, one agent for specific tasks, for everything. The biggest challenge, I would say, more as a CEO, is to find the right balance, because we want our employees to use AI, because sometimes we were like, look, what you were doing in 3 days, now you can do it in 1 hour. So it's really made to empower us. And in the same time, the danger is sometimes they forget to switch on the brain and they delegate completely AI and they stop thinking, because what AI cannot replace is instinct. And actually, instinct doesn't exist. Big news. Instinct is experience. You think that you have an instinct, but actually it's just because you have experience. And this feeling, this human feeling that, is this brand hot enough? Is this project gonna work for this type of... You cannot replace it. So you have to keep your critical point of view, but use AI to empower, to facilitate you. For the tech industry, it's amazing, because before, if I have built HushDay 10 years ago, I would have needed maybe 20 people to do what we did in 6 months. And we did it with 5 people. And for the tech, one developer now was like 4 or 5 developers before, and sometimes it's even 10 developers. So that's amazing to build a company at AI era. I don't need a lawyer anymore, only for very important thing. I don't need a CFO. I don't need anything you want. You know, even creative designer, it's become challenged by AI. So yes, I'm definitely into it, as long as we keep our conviction.
Great. Bapa, closing.
I think if you want to master AI, definitely you should. But if you choose not to master, then you can buy AI stocks and retire. So so we use AI actually a lot in BFL, and our CEO, it's a very interesting story. So we have a loyalty solution, and we pay, a lot of money as a subscription. Now, one fine day, our CEO calls me and says that, hey, I've built this new loyalty solution on Claude, using Claude. And he also named it BFL Dots. And he was showing me everything that loyalty can do in terms of, getting the customer transactions, all the reports, insights and dashboards, literally, and much beyond what the current solution does. And he literally built it over 2 weeks, himself on his own laptop. Then we showed it to our loyalty solution provider, and we got a 60% discount in the next subscription. So that's what AI does, right? Now the thing is, it's also a risk, because the stakeholders in the business, right, your CXOs, your head of department, they think software is a commodity, that everybody can build software using AI, but it's not, right? So you can build a small dashboard or a small nice little report, etc. But when it comes to enterprise solution, it's a completely different game altogether, right? In terms of data governance, in terms of scalability, sustainability, ensuring the integration doesn't end up leaking your data, and all of that, right? So explaining that to the management and to the execs is something which is very important. But at the same time, we should not also say that no, I will not do it, right? So that balance is very important. So I feel that going forward, another 5 years from now, UI UX is going to disappear from applications. So all your native application will be very, very conversational, right? So there will not be any click, click, click. You log in and then there is a list of menus and sub-menus and options. You click here, you do this, you do that. No, that's all going to go away, right? So AI is going to replace all the front end and users just have to interact and the work will happen in the back end and everything will be self-service, right? So all the solutions are moving towards that. From a very, very heavy user interface centric to more of conversational and more of they say agentic as a service, which is AGAAS or gas. So it's not like that, but yes. So agentic as a service is something that is taking the world by storm. So any application you see, customer facing application, enterprise applications, ERPs, everything. Of course, the frontliners in the store, they still need a POS machine. They still need to scan the products, but everything in the back office and the head office, I believe will be replaced with agentic as a service.
Yeah, it's quite ironic that a loyalty company had to give a 60% discount to retain a customer, right? So, but on that note, I think that's about it from all of us. Happy to take a few questions, but we'll keep it really short. Maybe 2 questions, Yazdan? We have time?
Hi, thank you. So, Bapa, from evolution perspective, I mean, like you said, largely the playbook is 85-88% on brick and mortar and then 12 to 15 on e-commerce. What's the tech the group is thinking to put on the store, or maybe in a plan or something has been put which has given really great results? And how do you want to multiply it, and what are the benefits of that?
Okay, it's a great question. And hi Jatin, we come from Landmark, so I've worked with you before. So yeah, so one of the things is very relevant for today because we are working with Fynd in terms of doing an omnichannel fulfillment from the stores. So customers actually, when you see like today, the entire purchasing that we do, the allocation to e-commerce is probably 20%, 25% of what we buy, we allocate to e-commerce based on the depth and based on the need of the online business, right? The remaining 80%, 75% goes to the stores. Now, online customers don't have access to that stock. So what we are doing is our products, our assortment is basically very, very low on depth. And we get like 5 pieces, 10 pieces of an SKU, maybe sometimes broken sizes, extra small, double XL, and all of that, right? So what we want to do is we want to expose our store stock to online customers as well. Obviously, within certain guide rails, we cannot expose with a threshold. Above a threshold, we have to. So that tech is something which will be very transformational to increase our offering and assortment and the mix to our online customers. So today, right, there's you like a product, but then you see your sizes are all crossed out. You only get 1 or 2, 3 sizes. If it fits you, it's fine. If it doesn't fit you, you come out, right? So tomorrow we are going to have the store stock also exposed and fulfill from the store directly to the customer. So I think that tech is something that we are really looking forward and working with Dharam, Yazdan and the guys here to enable.
I didn't say it, Bapa decided. So I thank you very much, everyone. I think we're at the end of it. Bapa usually wants to sing a song at the end, but today he wants to share a small video. So we'll probably end on that note. Bapa, you want us to move and look at it?
Yeah.
Or you want to tell us a story about what?
Yeah, so there's a small story about it. We had Father's Day, right, just a few days back. So in the trade meeting, the discussions going on that we need to do something to our customers on the Father's Day. Then people were saying, oh, we have a great loyalty program. Let's focus on some of the product categories which appeals to fathers. Then our marketing, one of the managers in marketing department, he came up and said that, look, everybody does loyalty of customers, everybody does offering of products. Why not we do something which showcases loyalty of our employees, right? And on Father's Day, let's release it as a campaign. And this campaign was tremendously successful. I mean, we had customers who came to the store and said really good things about this campaign. And so we'll just have a quick look at it. I think it's better to start it.
For me at home. At BFL, I have great value. At home, I have built the future.
What I do at BFL supports what matters most to me, my family.
And every day at work is another step towards my children's dream.
Providing for my family is more than a duty, it's an act of love.
The dedication I bring to BFL comes from the love I have for my family.
Lovely. Well, thank you for sharing. Thanks a lot, Bapa. I think we'll take a quick picture.